Deion Sanders. The hype rocket is headed out to the cosmos. If you have not been following along, I don't know how you could have missed this, even if you're not a college football person. Deion Sanders is the benchmark for all of college athletics right now, and the hype has no bounds. This weekend, Colorado playing their in-state rival, Colorado State, and that will be the most important game in the country, according to television. And television people, I've been told by somebody I work with on a TV show, are more important people. They're just better people. And the TV people, they haven't vanished into thin air. They are going to be hanging out in Boulder to get a little of that good mojo from Deion Sanders. Everyone's stir crazy for Deion and that hype rocket and all that. And adding on to it, we have an anonymous NFL executive, my favorite source of news, the anonymous NFL executive, who compared Deion Sanders to the head coach of the LA Rams, Sean McVay, and he was comparing the unique path that both those guys have taken, the high level of intelligence. Another executive says Deion would be unbelievable in the NFL recruiting players via free agency. Whispering sweet nothings about Coach Prime is all in vogue. Everyone's playing nice in the sandbox right now. So let us discuss. The question, is Deion Sanders similar to Sean McVay? Is he the new Sean McVay? Let's go as far as to say that loose translation. Is Deion Sanders the new Sean McVay? So I'm shaking my head no on this. I've got butterfly, debutante ball, and the queen of soul. And we will combine all of these things together, and we'll try not to get outfoxed. So first of all, we love Sean McVay. And Sean McVay has been amazing with the Rams, and he worked in the Sorcerer's Workshop. The Rams, just this weekend, left for dead. The Rams went out and beat the snot out of the Seattle Seahawks in the second half with guys I've never heard of. I had no idea who three of those key players were for the Rams, and that's good job by Sean McVay, coaching those guys up. Good job by him. And so he's been great. 2 Super Bowl appearances in a very brief time with the Rams. Did win a Super Bowl. Hardest Super Bowl of all time against the Cincinnati Bengals and all that. Winning a piece of metal against Cincinnati. Now, that being said, Deion Sanders is he's cut out of a different cloth when you compare him to Sean McVay. It's a different thing. It's apples and oranges because primetime is a social butterfly. He floats around like a butterfly, and he has been on the map for an entire generation. If you're old now, if you're middle-aged or old, those two are interchangeable, you remember Deion Sanders running around from World Series games to NFL games and how crazy that was in the pre-social media days. But Deion has been a kind of a big deal. He has that infectious enthusiasm, and he is very pervasive. He's able to convince people to do things like buy tickets and watch him on television. And it's a bit of a simpatico delivery situation, but the formula, the proprietary blend, is different than Sean McVay because he's a bigger deal than Sean McVay, but he's been captivating men, women, and children for a long time. And secondly, the Deion Sanders to the NFL chatter, we talked about it a bit in previous episodes of the show. And every single day there's a new story saying that Deion's going to get big-time offers from the NFL, and he's going to pick up the phone. I'm telling you, he's going to go to the NFL. He's not going to stay at Colorado. Many pundits are trying to speak this into existence, that Deion Sanders is the star of the debutante ball. Everyone wants to get a little touch of Deion, right? America's sweetheart now, Deion Sanders. Skip Bayless, you'd think that Skip Bayless would be very happy. The Cowboys, his Dallas Cowboys, number one Cowboy suck-up, Skip Bayless around. His Dallas Cowboys won a game 4-0, but Skip Bayless recently said that he would, I'm paraphrasing this, but he advocated for Deion Sanders to coach the Cowboys. He said, would he work, here's the quote, would he work as the Cowboys coach in a vacuum? Oh, he would be sensational. I'm talking Super Bowls, plural, sensational. Skip Bayless recently opining. about Deion Sanders, and he said Deion's on the same level with Tom Brady, that anything he puts his heart and soul to, he will succeed at. So let's address this again. Now, the Cowboys were brought up. I brought up the Atlanta Falcons in a previous episode of the show. Will Deion Sanders get offers from the NFL coaching world? So the answer is still yes. I've not changed my position. I said yes before. I'm still saying yes. Yes, I'm nodding my head yes. Barring some kind of drastic collapse, he's going to have opportunities. Deion is the new beacon of hope if you're a football team. He's the prize at the top of the coaching pyramid. And every year we have 5 or more NFL jobs that open up. Coaches get wiped away, right? 5 or more jobs open up. NFL teams, we will guarantee you, they will attempt to get Deion Sanders to log in and go to HR and get a big contract and all that. And it's really up to Deion. The ball's going to be in Deion Sanders' court here, whether he wants to give the NFL a shot or not. And at the very least, through intermediaries and middlemen, they will gauge Deion's interest in the job. And publicly, Deion Sanders has said over and over again he does not want to go down the slippery slope, that he doesn't want to be part of the NFL world, that he doesn't want to coach grown men, and he likes what he's got in college, and he doesn't want any part of it. But coaches lie all the time. Deion Sanders is a coach, which means he's a liar. That's part of the deal. Nick Saban, liar. They're all liars. So you can't believe what they say on that regard, and everyone's got a price. If the price is big enough, Deion will do it, and then that's that. All right, final thought. Let's head to Nebraska. We're going to keep the same train of thought going here with Colorado. Speaking of the Buffaloes, the rise up the ladder. Nobody has been able to pump the brakes yet through the first couple weeks of the college football season. Now, Colorado's quarterback, Deion Sanders, getting hyped up as an NFL player. And his claim to fame, it's very hard when your father's a star to get out of the shadow of your father. He certainly hasn't done that. He's playing for his old man in Boulder. But Deion Sanders criticizing Cornhuskers coach Matt Rhule in some viral audio over the weekend after the Buffaloes won and they blew Nebraska out in the second half. And the Buffaloes quarterback, he said, I'm not going to give you the whole thing, but he said all respect was gone from Nebraska and their program after Matt Rhule spoke poorly of Deion Sanders. And that's, of course, Shadir's father. Now, Rhule disagreed with that particular statement. He was asked about it. He said he did not disrespect Deion Sanders in Colorado. So why is this a storyline? Matt Rhule just pointed out that Deion Sanders was going gaga for the transfer portal, which, by the way, he is. Right? You can point that out. Are you really being critical of Deion Sanders? That is how he built the team. He just went out and got a whole new roster, like an expansion team. He said, well, get rid of all these guys. These guys are turds, and I don't want to coach turds, so I'm going to go bring in some new people who are somebody else's turds, and I'll win with those guys. But because Deion Sanders and his son, I'll tell you why this is a story. Because Deion, and mostly his son, are fully embracing the Queen of Soul mindset, Aretha Franklin, right? And it's RESPECT. And you're trying to get that respect. It's the lazy river of athletic conversation. I talked about this last hour. And we see it 99.9% of the time. Coaches, star athletes, they all follow the same script. And once you see the script, once you learn the script, you can't unsee it. And this weekend, there will be some big wins in college football in the NFL. And after the game, when they talk to the media, the players and the coaches will play this little game of hide and seek. And they'll come out and they'll say, well, you didn't think we were going to win this game. You didn't believe us. We proved you wrong, right? It's the same thing. And every single time I've seen an interview with Deion Sanders' son, Shadir, it's the same thing. It's, well, you didn't think we would do it. You didn't believe in us. Yeah. And most of that world is just about athletes using the trolls as motivation. That's what it is. Right? They're all the rage. The star athletes are easily offended by anything and everything. Even the most lighthearted, non-toxic things can be seen as a slight. I have to find my motivation. I need my motivation. So you find your motivation. Who's the doom and gloom guy who said that we were going to get steamrolled and we didn't get steamrolled and I'm going to call them out? Oh, that's so good.